so partially excited, excited for you, partially excited.
Hello and welcome on today's episode of Partially Excited. We've got an amazing individual straight from Ireland, and his name's Karl Davidson, and his main thing is about empowering people, all about technology, and he's got some amazing clubs, groups, etc. Hello, welcome to the show, Karl. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very, very well, Aaron. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really do appreciate you thinking of me, because I've seen the people that you've already interviewed, and there's some quality people. So yeah, I'm delighted to be a part of that clan. So thanks so much, Aaron. I appreciate that.
Genie, Karl, that sounds like a thick Dublin accent. Are you from Dublin?
Funnily enough, so I have an interesting story. I'm not from Dublin, but I am from the suburbs. Well, you could say the suburbs of Dublin. North Kildare, Selbridge, a little town called Selbridge, where Arthur Guinness made his first Guinness pint. People always ask me, am I from Dublin? I say, well, look, I was born in Dublin in, I think it was Mount Carmel Hospital. I'm on a Dublin bus route, and I have an 01 house number, but no, I'm not from Dublin. So I'm a Kildare man through and through.
Oh, cool. So you're the poppy generation then.
That's it.
And what was like growing up in Kildare?
Yeah, do you know what? It was cool. I enjoyed it. It was. I grew up just that kind of when I was young. Like I was nearly like the Dennis the Menace type of kid. Like going around the estate. I was on my bicycle. Like, you know, I was tormenting neighbours. Not too bad now, but you know, I was tormenting a few neighbours. You know, pulling knickknacks and stuff like that. You know, knickknacks where you knock on the door and you run away and stuff like that. And then that was kind of my early childhood. I was a bit of a, how would you say, a bit of a wild child. I still am a wild kid at heart. And then growing up in the teenage years, yeah, I had a big group of kind of lads and girls who were, you know, we all kind of hung around in fields, and, you know, obviously started getting into drinks and stuff like that. And yeah, it was interesting. Selbridge is a big town, and everyone kind of knows each other, and everyone knows everyone's business and stuff like that. And, you know, it has a massive youth population now, and yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger. You know, that was good. It was fun, different. It's only what I know. You know?
As I say, you don't know what you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, what were your passion, like as a kid when you were growing up? What did you enjoy watching or doing, or what were your hobbies?
I love playing a bit of football. One thing, you know, I started playing football, I think, around, I'd say it was about 6 or 7, just with the older lads in the estate. And I remember we used to play football with, you know, we'd have a group of lads from one estate, and we played the other lads from the other estate, and it was good fun times, you know. And then I actually started getting into athletics when I was about 9-10 years of age, and I started doing a lot of running. I think it was just to expel all the energy that I had, like, pent up inside of me, you know. I was a sprinter, and I was doing a lot of relays, and I actually won gold medals with the Selbridge Athletic Club years and years ago. Wow, it's been so long. But All Ireland champion as well with the running, with the athletics. I gave it up when I was about 12, and then I just started chasing girls. So yeah, it was a bit different, you know. But yeah, football was my kind of main thing. I dabbled in a lot of sports. Like, I mean, there was times when I'd play like a little bit of table tennis in my secondary school, and Gaelic football as well. I enjoyed that. A little bit of cricket every now and then. Like, had a childhood friend who played a bit of cricket. So yeah, everything really. Like, I'd never shy away from a sport. I'd always just try and get to know it and just play it. Like, I'm kind of sporty, so like I'll try that, you know. I'll try this and go for it, you know.
And, you know, playing football, or did you think you were the Messi or Ronaldo, or what kind of, or did you follow a soccer team or anything like that? Or
yeah, I'm a big Arsenal supporter, and yeah, like when I was young, I played left mid. That was kind of I like playing up front, and I like scoring the goals, but I didn't really score many. Like, I probably could count on my hand how many I scored, like, growing up. I played left mid, but I was kind of maybe below average, you know. Maybe some of the lads might say, no, you're all right. Like, maybe, you know, you're doing yourself an injustice there, Karl. But I don't know, like, I think maybe I could have been better, but I was probably a little bit below average, and there was times when I didn't get my place on the team and stuff like that. Yeah, like, I enjoyed it though, but I kind of gave it up I gave up playing like football for the club when I was about 14 or 15, and then I like play a bit of five-a-side football. You know, like five-a-side is good fun as well. So I play that, and I just love scoring goals then because it's super easy. Well, at least I find it easy anyway. But yeah, Arsenal will be my football team of choice, and I went over and saw them on many occasions. I'm a part of the Arsenal Dublin, or I was a part of the Dublin Arsenal supporters club. I've been kind of travelling a lot, so haven't been really back in Ireland much to go to the games in the pubs and stuff when they're open, of course. Yeah, it's a phenomenal stadium, Arsenal, and you know, I just sometimes just go over for a day trip, like go 6 o'clock flight, Ryanair flight over in the morning, a few drinks in the morning, and then enjoy the game, and then fly home that night. And yeah, it's good fun.
When you ran athletics, what distance were you running?
I was running 100 metre sprint, 200 metres. I did long jump, which I was okay at as well, and relay. That's where we won all our gold medals, was the relay. 4x50, and I think, if memory serves me correct, 4x100. But maybe that I need to go back over and check my medals for that. But definitely 4x50. So yeah, it was good. I like being in the relay, you know, like being a part of the team and kind of motivating the other people to run faster. You know.
So you could give Usain Bolt a run for his money then, right?
I wish, man. I wish that would have been a dream come true. But look, you know, these things happen. You kind of you get pulled away to different things, and yeah, I mean, that's just life, isn't it?
It is. So you're a teenager chasing girls, and and as we all do when we finish up school, did you go to university or did you kind of get a job? Or
yeah, so actually, funny story. I started working when I was 10. This is actually a really interesting story for your listeners, right? So when I was 10, I went to mass or church with my mum, and of course, like when you're 10, like you don't want to really go to mass or church. You don't have a clue about religion, spirituality, God, or anything like that. And I remember just sitting there, and my mum gave me this magazine to read. It was called The Open Door. And I was just flicking through the pages, and next minute it said wanted newspaper delivery. And I looked at that, and I was 10 years of age, and I said, "Mom, please ring them." Like, so she rang them, and they refused because I was too young. They needed me to be at least 12. But I said, I was like super determined to get this. I was like, "Ma'am, come on, ring them one more time and just say, like, look, I'll do it for half the price." And they said, "Okay, look, we'll trial it out. You know, your son seems fairly enthusiastic about this. You know, let's try it. You know." So I got 200 papers, and I got five Irish pounds at the time, and I delivered 200 papers just around my local estate. I did that for 2 years, and then I needed to retire basically. I was just getting a little bit bored of it, so I stopped when I was 12. Then I went into secondary school. But the minute I turned 16, I said to myself, right, well, I'm at the legal age now to get a job in Ireland. So happy days, like let's start applying for jobs. And I applied for, I think it was 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and I got 2 interviews back, and one of the interviews I didn't get the job with one of them, but the other one I did, and that was in the K Club in Strafford there in Kildare. Fabulous country club, golf resort. It was absolutely a dream come true, but it was only for 1 week during the European Open, and I did that, and you know, obviously I made a good impression with the managers because they called me back. That was in, I think, July, 2007. And then I got called back that September, you know, to be taken on part-time. And I did that for 4 years during my kind of school and during my college years. I finished my leaving cert when I was 17. And I went straight into college. I did electrical engineering in DIT Kevin Street, but that is no more now. I think it's DIT is over in Grange Gorman now. So I did that and really enjoyed my college years. It was a lot different than other people's college years, that's for sure. I was working every weekend, pretty much literally every weekend, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. If I could get a Sunday, that was great because that was like time and a half. But I was then, you know, in college Monday to Friday, and the first year I remember doing, I think it was Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. because we had to facilitate for the part-time people in the evenings. And then the second year, I think it was Thursday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So, you know, my college experience was a lot different to, you know, people that when I was in college and they were in college, they were telling me stories about going drinking. I mean, I was still 17 in college. I couldn't even drink until I turned 18 that December. But yeah, like other people going out, you know, going into classes hungover, and you know, I couldn't do that because I was commuting all the time, and it was tough. It was long hours. but glad I finished it through, you know. So yeah, to answer the question, yeah, I went to college.
Why did you choose electronic engineering?
Yeah, do you know what's really interesting about that, Aaron? It's a great question. Sat down with my dad when I was kind of in my last year, and I had always been interested in maths, and I really liked engineering and metalwork in school. Like, I really like kind of building stuff. I'm okay with my hands, like, you know, I'm okay, but I really liked that. And then my dad, I was saying to my dad, like, look, I don't know what to do. Like, so we sat down with one of the kind of CAO books, and we were looking, and, you know, I was interested in engineering. So we kind of were like, okay, well, what about software engineering or computer engineering? And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then he was like, what about mechanical? And I was like, yeah, maybe mechanical. So I had actually mechanical as my second choice. And then the reason why I chose electrical was because out of all the engineering, well, I think it's one of the top paid engineering roles. So I just said, all right, well, I'll go for that. So I chased the money on that side, but I learned not to chase the money later on in life. So.
It's funny, when we're young we chase the money, but we get a bit wiser and older, realize, why did I do that, you know?
Yeah. But look, it's still paying dividends. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, a lot of people fail to understand that, you know, some of the choices that they make, you know, they can bring that forward into the adult life. And, you know, if you want a better life, you make better choices, you know, and be open to different perspectives on those choices. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy that I did it. As soon as I finished, actually I didn't even finish my course when I applied for a job, and they gave me the job, even like they knew I was finishing my degree, but they had offered me the job before I finished my degree. So I was delighted. I was 20 years of age and got a job, and, you know, it was fantastic. I really did land on my feet, you know, but at the same time I put a lot of work in to get that. I mean, the 9 a.m. to 9 p.m, no one really saw that. The Friday, Saturday, Sunday, working the weekends, no one really saw that except for my work colleagues and, you know, few close friends. But I got that, and then they shipped me off to training in different countries and stuff like that, and it was fantastic. You know, it was really good.
You're an electrical engineer for 9 years, but what was your first job working as an electronic engineer?
Yeah, so as soon as I finished my degree when I was 20, so I mentioned that they gave me a job straight away, the company, and straight away I've been with them ever since. And, you know, it's a blessing because it's a first job, it's straight in, and I haven't had a different job. I had the same job for the last couple of years, so it's been really cool that way, you know. And
are you taking computers apart? Are you putting processing chips in? Are you taking light bulbs and sockets out? Tell us more about what your job entails.
Yeah, so my job basically entails servicing and maintaining the machines that make the nano chips, that make the microchip. If you're listening to this on your iPhone or your Samsung or anything like that, the chances are that the microchip or the nano chip that's in the machines that I've serviced and maintained, they're the producers of that chip. And maybe not directly, because I can't work on all the machines across the world, but indirectly, you know, especially the ones that are like Intel. If there's an Intel inside sticker on your laptop, then yeah, those machines that I service and maintain, you know, made those chips. So it's really cool that way, you know. It's really interesting. I find it really interesting. It's a really cool thing to be like literally on the forefront of technology. Like, I mean, you know, the semiconductor industry, it's a massive multi-billion-dollar industry, and, you know, it's everywhere is becoming digitized. Everything. Like, I mean, you see cars now, you know, people want to automate cars, Alexas in your home, like everything. Your doorbell is now digitized, like it has, you know, a camera on it. You know, your home heating system, everything is just digitized. So it's really interesting to be a kind of part of that growth and a part of that expansion, you know.
As a young guy who's in the 20s, did this kind of fascinate your interest to kind of pursue in this area?
You know, I was just going with the flow, Aaron, to tell you the truth. I was just doing what society was kind of programmed me to do. Go to school, get a good grade in your school, get a good test score, you know, get a degree if you want, and get a job, you know. I was just going with it, and, you know, maybe the angels are looking after me or something, but, like, you know, I just went with it. And I was always open to opportunities. I always put up my hand. I've learned to say no, but I'm like Richard Branson, the Dr. Yes, you know. I'm like him, you know.
I probably assume you got to travel to the likes of Japan, Taiwan, China, get to see all the tech manufacturers and get to see from the, you know, the RAM and the chips going from, you know, big the size of your hand, fingers to a little penny. But I assume that you learned a lot about yourself as well, traveling and understanding and learning about all this technology and understanding about, wow, I'm learning and I'm growing as well, you know?
Yeah, wow. I mean, I've been just on an absolute incredible journey these last couple of years. Like when I turned 20 and got my job, like, you know, I was 20 years of age, like flying over to Japan, working in Toshiba. I was flying over to, you know, America, working in Intel. You know, I couldn't even drink. You know, I wasn't at the legal age to drink, but I was going over there and working on machines and stuff. And it made me realize a lot about myself. In the first 5 years of my job, like, you know, I did what I was told to do and stuff like that. But it was when I turned 25, you know, I don't know, maybe I had a bit of a mid-20s crisis. One of my favorite speakers that I listened to, Jim Rohn, I really relate to him. At 25, his life changed, and at 25, my life changed. I kind of just I was in a bit of a slump, to be honest, Aaron. I was like around 23, 24, I started hitting this slump in my life. Not in terms of my job or anything, but just in terms of my life. I just didn't know where I was going. You know, I got the degree, I was traveling around the world, it was fantastic, lots of fun, lots of, you know, traveling around, seeing different places, but I lacked something, like I lacked a purpose, I lacked, you know, something inside of me that was going to, you know, in my down moments, that was going to pull me out of my down moments, that was going to push me forward as well. So thankfully, when I was 25, I met a girl online, and she just absolutely, completely changed my life. But on the build up to that, you know, there was certain steps that I was taking. I mean, I think it was around 23, I came out of a bit of a bad relationship where I was renting in an apartment, and I was spending crazy money, like €1,400 every second month, wasting money on something that I didn't even own. And then I remember looking at myself in the mirror and just going, Jesus, Karl, like you need to work out, like you need to, you know, get fitter and build a little bit more muscle. So I joined a gym in my local area. And when I got into the gym, I said to myself, okay, like, look, I know that when people come to the gym, they're motivated. You see motivated people in the gym. People that work out are self-motivated. And I needed music. I needed something to get me going. I'm that type of person that I need a bit of energy in my life. I always need energy in my life. But I started listening to YouTube, and I just typed in motivation, typed in Eric Thomas, came up, and I started listening to him, and he just blew me away, and started getting into Eric Thomas, Les Brown. And then, yeah, I just had a different outlook on life. I was coming up, like, if you get me, like I was getting happier in life. I was doing better with myself, and that obviously allowed me to attract good people into my life. And, you know, I attracted an amazing person into my life who I met online, and she gave me so much information and just so much knowledge and wisdom. And I remember she gave me 2 books to read while I was on a job assignment in Japan, and one of them was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and the other one was Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that's another story, Aaron. That was just a phenomenal light bulb moment where I just found more of myself, if for want of a better word, you know.
Why was that a light bulb moment?
That's a great question, Aaron. I love that. I was walking down the street in Japan, right? So picture like a suburb of Tokyo. It was a city called Mito, and I was doing a job assignment over there. I was installing a $20 million machine, approximately $20 million machine in a factory. And I was over there for about 5 weeks in total. But during that 5 weeks, I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna like take this girl's advice and this woman's advice, and I'm gonna listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm gonna listen to How to Win Friends and Influence People. So for anyone that hasn't read or listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's all about financial education and kind of how to, you know, use money as a tool and that sort of stuff. I can talk a little bit more about that if you want, but what really struck me, the light bulb moment, was when I was listening to How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I was walking down a really, really busy street in Japan, and there was loads of people around, and I was walking down, and I was walking kind of beside the tracks where, you know, for blind people, they have the little kind of knobbly things on the path, and I was walking beside that, and I was just following that, and then it came to a stop, just a crossroads onto the next street. And I had my earphones in and I was listening, and I was listening to Dale Carnegie, and the next sentence that he said was that light bulb moment. He just turned around and it was like as if he was saying it to me. I mean, of course he was saying it to me because I was listening to him. He goes, do you control your emotions or do your emotions control you? And that just hit me. I was just like, boom, oh my God, like what? Like that was just an incredible light bulb moment where I was like, wow, you know, all this time, 25 years on this ball of floating fluff, you know, my emotions have been controlling me. You know, I've been reactive, I've been, you know, angry, happy, all this sort of stuff. But when you learn to control your emotions rather than your emotions controlling you, it's a game changer. It's you know, it's a real game changer. But it's difficult, not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But, you know, it is difficult. It's very difficult, but it's fulfilling.
And probably reading, you know, those two books kind of gave you the foundation to get out of that hole and realize I'm powerful and I can do this and I can do that in some way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You know, I didn't really read, though. That's the thing. Like, I never really read books before this. I never really listened to books, but I don't know, like, I needed to change. So in order for me to change, I needed to change. You know, I needed to change the things around me. I needed to change, you know, I needed to change up. I'm not, like Jim Rohn says, you're not a tree, you can move. You know, and I needed to change. And I think when you're prodded enough in life, that's when you say, right, enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to do more. I want to achieve more. I want to be more. I want to have more and that sort of stuff. And those books just set me off on an absolute spiral of greatness. You know, and I love it. And one thing though, Aaron, that I live by is a Chinese proverb. There's a moral obligation, basically, that if someone gives you of something that benefits you, you have a moral obligation to share with others. So when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, or listened to it, should I say, I've read it since, but I've listened to it on the Audible app. You know, I just started to say, like, you know what, people need to hear this. People need to do what's in this book. It's going to help so many people. And yeah, the rest is history. I've been just kind of focusing on helping so many people increase their financial education and elevate their financial intelligence. And it's been an incredible journey. And yeah, it's you know, I get to meet people like you and chat to people like you and be on your podcast. So, you know, it's incredible, you know.
When you were listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad, did you feel like kind of like a holy shit, why didn't I learn this when I was in school? Because of I could control my money and I could live better and all that when you read that, you know?
Yeah, like, again, there was those like little small aha moments. I believe that when you're ready, and you can't force anything. You gotta, as Confucius says, go with the flow. You gotta really go with the flow. And when you're ready, there's a saying out there: when the student is ready, the master appears. And that's for me when I was ready. And yeah, I look back and I'm chatting to, like, you know, people who are 18 and 20 and 21, 22, 23, and, you know, they're reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I'm just like, oh my God, man, if I was your age and I read that, I'd be a millionaire by now. I'd help a million people, you know. But you know, that it's just your journey, you know, and embrace it. And, you know, it is what it is. That's the time when, you know, you found out more. And to be honest, like, I was, you know, growing up, I was always kind of, my mom always says that I was very entrepreneurial. Like, when I was, you know, as I said, when I was 10, I started working and I started getting up my own money. And same when I was 16. I mean, I had a car when I was 17. I had my full license, I think, when I was 18. You know, I had been always enthusiastic about just becoming better. And I remember when I did graduate, about a month or two before I graduated, I remember sitting in the cafeteria in Kevin Street. Now, for any of the listeners, they'll know the canteen or the cafeteria in Kevin Street. I was sitting up by the pool table. I'm great at pool. I know I'm not. I'm okay at pool, but I love playing pool with the lads. But yeah, like, I was sitting there and I was just thinking to myself, is this it? Like, you know, I'm 20 years of age. Like, I'm getting my degree now. Is this it? Like, do I need to now work for another 45 years, you know, until I retire, and then I can live my life? Or, you know, have I got it wrong or something? And, you know, it took 5 years for, you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book, to be on my lap. And, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, that's that moment where I was like, oh, now I see the other side of the coin. You know, I'm on one side of the coin, but at least now I can see the other side of the coin and go towards it. And it's important to be able to kind of see both, well, the three sides of the coin, the tails, the heads, and the ridge. So yeah, it's interesting, but like, you know, that's just, it's everyone's on a different journey, and never compare your journey to someone else's journey. We're all on different starting blocks, you know. Some are going to be quicker, faster, some are going to have an extra head start. It doesn't really matter, as long as, you know, you're progressing, and, you know, progressing is happiness as well. So yeah.
I find that very interesting, because I agree with you 100%, but yet we still compare with others of, oh, I can do this, he this did it. You know, all this mind-boggling room. You can put language to it, but it's just like, you know, like at the end of the day, you're, like you just described, you know, that book found you at 25. Could it find you at 20? Yeah, it could, but you weren't ready. So, but at 25, you were ready for this information to get to another level, you know, upgrade to a level where you can say, yeah, I can, you know, control my finance, my people, relationships, etc., you know?
Yeah, like absolutely. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, and you know, it's so easy to compare yourself to other people, you know, especially with social media. I mean, like, you look at social media and all you have to do is scroll onto Instagram or Facebook or something like that, and you see like, oh, Mary there, she's off doing this with this person and she's living the life, and John, you know, he's driving this big fancy car and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, at the end of the day, no one cares. Everyone just, you got to just focus on your own journey and become better and move forward and keep striving for greatness. I finished up a course with Les Brown, Your Power Voice, and it was just phenomenal. Les Brown, I don't know if you listen to Les Brown or not, but he's phenomenal. And being on webinars with Les Brown, like private webinars, it was just incredible. And like, you know, he's 75 and he's still learning, he's still growing, and that's the person, you know, that's who you want to strive towards. You want to be someone who is like constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly, you know, helping other people, sharing your knowledge with other people as well. That's important, because, you know, if you're going to spend all this time, you know, learning all this, like, why keep it? Why not share with others? And that's exactly what we do with our Facebook groups, myself and my wife Rona, who was the woman who introduced me to Rich Dad Poor Dad and Dale Carnegie, by the way. So yeah.
What made you go study with Les Brown?
That's a good question. You know what, 2020 has been a bit of a wild year, and I think it's safe to say it's good to see the back of it. But at the same time, like, you know, 2020 for me was a record year. You know, I enjoyed what I could from it. It was an eye-opening year, like, you know. And when I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw Les Brown pop up for his course, you know, I think it was like $1,000 US, and it was like something like 7 or 8 weeks private, you know, coaching with Les Brown. I just said, you know what, this is gold. Like, this is the return on investment, and the return, like, that I'm going to get from this is just phenomenal. And yeah, it was just amazing. And I really wanted to just go to the next level, Aaron. I really wanted to, you know, be able to speak where I was listened, and not speak where people weren't listening to me, you know, because so many people speak to the wrong audience. And, you know, sometimes they get frustrated and they're like, why isn't anybody listening to me? So, you know, in that sense, I want to master my craft. I want to honor my craft by speaking, not as a public speaker. I just want to be able to know how to speak, to be able to, you know, take my story, take my message and touch the lives of so many people and inspire loads of people. And, you know, yeah.
And do you feel like you've accomplished that craft?
No, not yet. Definitely not. You know, Malcolm Gladwell says, you know, 10,000 hours is kind of the kind of limit of, or, you know, where you want to be hitting to master your craft. But I think if anyone says, I think you can master a craft, but if you master the craft, you know, you're not just going to stop. You're going to always want to keep learning on that craft. You want to, like, I just listened to a motivational speech by Eric Thomas, and he was saying about honoring his craft. And, you know, that's what you want to be doing. You want to be, you know, you need to keep going, keep progressing. But you can master the craft. You can put in the work. You can do the 10,000 hours, but you can always improve, you know? No, like, you don't, like, big athletes or anything like that, they don't just get to the very, very top and say, right, that's it. Like, you know, they're always constantly improving. If they're not improving themselves, they're sharing that knowledge, improving others as well, you know?
What do you like about listening to Eric Thomas?
His bluntness, his no BS approach. You know, it's raw. It gets right into you. It makes you pumped up. It makes you believe that you can do anything you set your mind to. I thoroughly believe that, you know. And yeah, because he was the very first person that I listened to, you know, he's just my go-to guy. He's the person that whenever I'm down, you know, of course I listen to so many other speakers like Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, I've got a long list, you know. You know, he's the first person that whenever I'm down, whenever I'm in the valley, as they say, I will put on him, and he'll take me right up to the peak, and we go again, you know.
That's the thing. We hit rock bottom, and I think when we hit rock bottom, it's ready for another upgrade. After meeting Brona and reading all the books, where did you progress? Did you do NLP, or did you go do... I know you're continuing with technology and all that, but where, as a personal development, where did it go from there?
Yeah, so once I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I decided to start my own online marketing business, and I did that for a couple of years, and you know, I learned a lot about business. You know, I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about communication. I learned a lot about... I went to a lot of seminars. I went to a lot of conferences. Like I went in 2019, for example, I went and I met Robert Kiyosaki, you know, sitting right up front and just taking it all in. And, you know, it was phenomenal. So I've invested thousands into my personal development. I also undertook NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So I did a master practitioner in that online, and that actually helped me a lot to get through my own stuff, because we all have stuff that we need to get through. So you can't coach or teach or help people get through stuff unless you've got through stuff. And, you know, I started doing that. And funny enough, my wife, she did NLP in Ireland, and she was a neuro-linguistic practitioner. And I was always kind of fascinated by it. I was like, what is that? It's like the science of getting better, you know, the science of bettering yourself. And I said, I'm going to do that, but Brown, I'm going to do one better than you. And I'm going to get, I'm going to do a master practitioner in that course. Like, and I did that. So little bit of competition there with me and Brown, boy. It's good competition, you know. But so we've just we started expanding our business. We launched another business called Epic Hearts Club in 2020. Actually, it's coming up at a 1-year anniversary in like January 20th. So yeah, like it's been incredible. I love helping people. That's one of my biggest passions, is like helping people be more financially educated. Because we don't get taught it in school, we only learn from our, you know, people like our parents, our guardians and stuff like that. And I'm not saying what we learn is wrong, but I'm just saying that there's other ways as well, and there's other levels that you can get to live the life that you truly, truly desire. I mean, this is the last life that you're going to have. This isn't a dress rehearsal, so you want to make sure that you're not average. You want to make sure that, like, you know, you do the best that you can do in this life. You help as many people as you can. And, you know, a lot of people nearly get so triggered by money, and that's okay, because it's just the programming that they need to unravel. They need to go through and ask themselves why they're so triggered by money. It's probably because the lack of it when they were growing up. But what people fail to understand, a lot of people fail to understand about money, is that the more money you make, the more people you help. I say this so many times in our cash flow club on Facebook. The more money you make, the more people you can help. If you've got X amount of money in your bank account and you make X plus 1, you can help one more person. X plus 100, you can help another 100 people. So my goal is to help as many people as I can. We donate every month. You know, we help people, you know, take them from A to B in the best way possible. And some people choose to go that way in a Ferrari. Happy days. Some people don't care. They don't care what vehicle they're in, and they just want to get to B. But it's been an amazing journey these last couple of years. Getting back to Brona, like, you know, we met in 2016, and, you know, for any romantic people out there that are listening, so we met in 2016. I asked her to be my girlfriend in May 4th, 2016. Within 2 months, we were engaged, and within the year, we were married. And we actually had two weddings, so it was pretty cool. So she's a big inspiration to me. She's incredible. She's changed a lot of my views on life, and she's helped me see different perspectives. And she's my rock, you know.
Yeah, the warrior needs the rock, you know.
Yeah.
What made you start the Cash Flow Club?
Do you know what? It's funny. I can't take any credit for this, Aaron, because it was my wife, Brona. She was up late nights, so she's a bit of a night owl. I'm the early bird, but, you know, sometimes she can get up early as well. But, you know, her brain is just non-stop. Next move. What's our next move? Boom, 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 boom. Like, you know, I think it was back in 2017. she was like, I think it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and she was just wide awake. Woke up the next day and she goes, "Karl, we're going to create cash flow club in Ireland." Like, and I was like, "Hey, like what's that?" Like Facebook group, like where we like, you know, talk about financial education. And I was like, all right, I'm happy. And you know, we started hosting a few of the cash flow board games, and we did that, and then we moved to China and we started hosting more games there. A lot of the people in China, and that was interesting because like China's a communist country, or so people believe, but I think it's like one of the biggest capitalist country in the world. But hey, that's another story. Yeah, so we just started playing a lot of cash flow board games, and then a lot of people in Ireland then started kind of just playing as well. And you know, that's what you want. You want people to be inspired by others and upskill their financial education. So yeah, all credit goes to Brona. I do a lot in it. Like, I do a lot of lives, I post a lot, put a lot of time and effort in it. I think there's over 2,800 people in it now, so it's a phenomenal group. And it's not just Irish people, that's obviously a good portion of it, but it's people from all over the world. I mean, like there last week, I think we had an Australian cash flow speaker, got American speakers that come in. I organise basically speakers that come in every Monday and just talk about themselves and talk about their business and stuff like that. You know, we've had people come in from Norway, Sweden, all over the place, like literally all over the place, with the common goal of like, you know, upskilling their financial education and being around like-minded people, you know.
That's the thing, you know, we focus on financial wealth, but at the end of the day, our superpower is educating people around us. Say, look, I can do it, you can do it, you know.
Absolutely. Having the Me Too attitude. I mean, like Roger Bannister, you know, he ran the mile in under 4 minutes, was it?
Yeah.
And then like no one had done it before, and now a lot of people have done it. So once one person does it, it's just having that, well, if you can do it, I can do it too. Some people do it and they take pictures while they're doing it.
The Epic Heart Club, tell us about how that came about.
Yeah, so my wife Brona, she's like a coach, so she helps a lot of people, you know, with inner leadership, inner boundaries, being confident, you know, creating, partnering with yourself, being your best friend and stuff like that, loving yourself. And she had this idea to kind of create basically like the Netflix of coaching, where you have a number of coaches and they release content every week. They share their stories, they do videos on what they're an expert in. And yeah, my wife was like, I want to do this. I want to create this. And whenever one of us have an idea, we back each other 100%, but we also talk about it. We also kind of brainstorm it and stuff, and you know, we also prioritize it. And then, you know, energy is everything, so it's like, you know, we're going in at it and we're doing it. And yeah, like we launched it there in January 2020. So we've got basically, we had actually an inner trauma coach, and now she's been replaced with a positive psychology coach. The inner trauma coaching was absolutely incredible. Oh my god, like there was some epic videos on it. And now we've just recently got a new positive psychology coach as well. We have a yoga and breathwork coach, and she does a lot of yoga, a lot of meditation as well. And it's fantastic, like, you know, because so many people need that space. They need that, you know, they need the positive psychology. They need to go through the traumatic experiences that they had when they were young. They need that time to themselves when you know, with the yoga and you know, strengthening their body. We also have a fitness and nutrition coach, and that's phenomenal. Like, to see him, you'd be like, oh my god, like I'm not going near him. He's such a beast. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like he's the friendliest guy I've ever met. Like, he's from Latvia and lives in Ireland, and he's such a cool guy. Like, and we've trained with him as well, and it's just been, you know, incredible training with him, because like he puts you to your test. Like, I mean, it's like you're not coming out of there like with no sweat. Like, you're gonna be sweating. Like, so he does a lot of the videos, and he talks a lot about nutrition, a lot of home workouts now, obviously with COVID and stuff like that. Some gyms aren't open. And then we have a money mindset coach, and that's myself, where basically we just kind of talk all things financial education. So I talk a little bit about it in the Cash Flow Club, but I go in more depth in Epic Hearts Club, and it's a subscription service. And yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, a lot of people do need it, and when they join it, they realize the value in it, and you know, it's just incredible. And helping a lot of people, you know, getting through these tough times, it is needed. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
How are you able to add the mindset to financial education in some way?
Well, I believe that, 80% is mindset and 20% is mechanics. And what I mean by mechanics is just the doing, the budgeting, the earning, the sales, the income and that sort of stuff. But the mindset, you got to get the mindset right. You got to get your mindset right in order to attract wealth, because you go way back to your program of money. What did you get programmed about money when you were growing up? Did you think money was the root of all evil? Did you think rich people are greedy and that sort of stuff? You think money doesn't grow on trees? Hello, it's made of paper. So you got to get the mindset right. You got to be able to help more people. You got to be able to think both ways. You can't have just a one-way thinking. You got to be committed to learning and growing. You got to be basically to help people. You got to have that mindset right. You You can't have any negativity about money, because it's just a tool. You use it as a leverage to get what you need to get, to achieve what you need to achieve, to help as many people as you want to help. And it's the mindset comes in when you basically listen and learn. You listen to different podcasts, different books, and
I know you mentioned earlier that you did Les Brown's course in Finding the Voice, but doing the course, did you find your voice in some way?
Yes. Well, I kind of found how to structure a speech, which is really interesting, because I didn't really know how to structure. I didn't even know that you need to be able to structure a speech. That was actually the biggest thing that I got from it, was the way you tell your story. But I definitely found my voice, and my voice is to not talk to people that don't listen to me, because then I'm just wasting time, and time is our most valuable asset. So I'm very particular in the people that I talk to, because I want to make sure that they listen to me. They don't have to take my advice or anything like that, but they just have to listen to me, because I've a powerful story as well. I've got a lot of knowledge in that sense, a lot of worldly knowledge as well. I think I've been to over 35, 40 countries, which it's not a lot, but it's more than a lot of people. And in that, I've met some incredible people, like some really high profile people as well, and then just people who are just super inspiring as well. And that don't look for the fame and the fortune and stuff, but just want to help more people. So, yeah.
Did you feel like your voice was invisible before you did the course?
Not really, no. I just wanted to fine-tune my voice in a sense of if I'm to tell a story, okay, what way do I tell a story? But if I'm to tell a story, I want to make sure that people are engaged with the story and people are not nodding off in the back, and I keep them nearly entertained, or I provide value with them. So I think people will judge you no matter what. So you're not everyone's cup of tea, otherwise you'd be a mug. So people are going to judge you just by your looks, and they won't even listen to you, and that's fine. Some people, they need a reason to listen to you, so maybe you have to give them a little bit of value first and be like, oh, okay, yeah. Other people are just going to look at you and go, I like this person. I don't care what they say, but I like this person. We see it evidently in the media with Trump, which we won't go down there. But anyway,
no, yeah.
And then, some people, just need the excuse to not, the minute you open up your mouth is confirmation for them. It's like, no, that's enough. I don't need to listen to them. So yeah, it's interesting,
I get the feeling, Karl, you haven't even hit the peak of where you're going, but if you could kind of look into the future, what do you think your life would be in some way?
Wow. It's something that I do on a regular basis, is kind of obviously plan for the future, but my future, kids, definitely, me and myself and my wife, not just me, obviously, but me and my wife, we've talked about kids and stuff. She wants an army of kids, so I'm kind of okay, we'll see, but maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to adopt kids as well. We did a lot of work with orphanages over in Malaysia, one time we went into a soap recycling plant where basically we kind of scraped down all the soaps that were delivered in. They were all used soaps, but we scraped them down, made them into kind of new soaps, and they were shipped off to like third world countries and countries that were affected by natural disasters so that, people could clean themselves. And that opened up my eyes to, disadvantaged people, and including in Ireland as well, So yeah, to adopt would be great. And just, I think, to live a life where you don't have to set an alarm. No, I'm kidding. Because obviously you're going to have to set an alarm if you need to catch a flight. Yeah, I think it's just a case of, I want to live by the beach. I want to live by the sea. There's lots of places. But, if there was a place in Ireland, great. But I do like the sun. I do like, the nice sunny weather. I'm in Taiwan now, and in the morning time, I'm lucky that I have a balcony that I'm just sitting out there in the morning time, just soaking up the sun. It's like 22 degrees. It's heaven. It's absolutely lovely. And now back in Ireland, it's like 5 degrees, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, I feel like that there's going to be a lot of abundance in the future. I feel that we'll be able to do what we want, when we want, with who we want, and how we want. And not many people can say that and even be confident enough to say that, but it is what it is. And that's something that I'm working towards, and I want to inspire other people as well, that other people can do it, so why can't I? And then if I can do it, why can't you? So yeah, I know the future is bright, definitely.
Sounds amazing. I'm jealous that you have warm weather and I have cold weather, but that's another debate for another day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you meditate?
Yes, absolutely. I'm on a 4-day meditation streak today, and I've done meditation for the last 76 days. Just turning on my Breathe app now, because I want to see actually how many days. 78 days since I downloaded this app, and I'm on a 4-day streak. I try to meditate every morning. I feel that if you can win the day in the morning, if I understand that the morning times can be very stressful for people, but if you just take 5 to 10 minutes just for yourself, just quiet in your mind, it's a game changer. To listen to some positive affirmations, or even just some calm, soothing music. Get start off the day right. Win the day. If you can win the day as soon as you wake up, you've won the day. Anything else that comes to you, is nothing, because you've already won, right? So you're already a winner. So you might crash your car into a lamppost. It doesn't matter, because you've already won the day. I know, obviously, if you crash a car, it's a bad thing. But when you wake up in the morning, just make sure to win the day. If I can't do it in the morning, then I will maybe set an alarm on my phone, or I'll make it a priority. But it's definitely in the last while, I definitely think since moving to China, when I moved to China in 2018, I was there for nearly 2 years. I got big into meditation and kind of mindfulness, and just learning to quieten my mind and just relax a little bit more, because I'd been a busy bee before that. It's been non-stop, and yeah, it's been great. And visiting some temples, it's interesting, because I've been to, growing up in Ireland, you go to many churches around the place, and I've been to a few mosques, and I've been to a lot of temples as well. And one thing I've learned is that they're all quiet, and it's all peaceful, and they're all clean, and that's what you want your mind to be. You want it to be relaxed, but you want to have a relaxed intensity about you. So you want to get your goals. You want to, work through your goals. You want to work through your problems and stuff like that. You want to hit your targets, but you also want to do it in a relaxed state, because if you're running around and you're, like a busy bee type of thing, it's nearly bad energy. It's like you're kind of fluffing around the place. If you're kind of relaxed, calm, take everything as it comes, take it in, and it was inhale goodness, exhale badness, that sort of stuff. But I pray as well, and yeah, it's phenomenal. In the last while, big into meditation and prayer as well, and just gratitude. I thoroughly believe that gratitude is the best attitude to have. And you talk there about mindset. Having an attitude of gratitude is how you're going to attract more into your life, whether that's wealth or anything, whether it's people, whether it's materialistic stuff, whether that's opportunities. Having the attitude of gratitude is key.
It is a key indeed that we all should have. As a guy who's tons of motivating videos and people you watch on a regular basis, what's the quote that you constantly come back to, or what kind of, if you have a journal and you write down quotes, what would be the one that you go to all the time?
Oh man, that is a great question because there's just so many. I mean, I have a vision board. I'm actually looking at one of them now. Like I take, if I'm traveling, I have a vision board at home, but if I'm traveling, I'll take that vision board with me. So I laminate it, you know, I put it out on paper, I laminated it, and then I can stick it up anywhere. But, you know, I've got, like, you know, Declarations of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker that I read. I've got so many affirmations in my journals, but quotes, there's just so many. Your inner world creates your outer world, I think, would be one that is popping up. You know, that's the one that when you mentioned the quote, that straight away came up. Your inner world creates your outer world. I think I've been asked that question before and I probably said a different quote, but there's just so many. They're just amazing. I love quotes. I live by quotes. You know.
Karl, if there was one piece of advice you could give a person on the street or someone you meet, what would it be?
Wow. Probably not to worry, because worrying is praying for what you don't want to happen. And yeah, law of attraction, like that comes back to the law of attraction. But yeah, don't worry. Don't overthink things. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Help people. Be grateful.
Karl, if people want to find out more or get in touch with you, where can they find you?
I'm all over Facebook, Karl Davidson. You'll find me. My profile picture is the Cashflow Club logo. It's a pot of gold because, you know, we're Irish. So I just thought I'd do that for the fun. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, following Karl Davidson. I put up a lot of quotes and stories and stuff like that. LinkedIn as well, Karl Davidson. I'm there on LinkedIn, Twitter as well, Snapchat. I think my Snapchat handle is KDAB29. We have our own website. It's a merchandise website for all of our cash flow members and stuff like that. You don't have to be a member, obviously, to buy stuff from it, but you can find some of the merchandise there on KDAB29.com. You'll find me on EpicArtsClub.com as well. And yeah, am I missing anything? Find me on the phone. But yeah, you'll find me pretty much anywhere and everywhere.
Karl, it's been a pleasure having you on, and it's been a blast, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Aaron. I really do appreciate you having me on your show, and I'm super grateful. Thank you so much.
I'm so partial.